Still spinning.
Samsara.
Yes.
Still spinning today.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to Chanting and Meditation. This morning, Bhante will be leading us in chanting, then guided meditation, and then you're welcome to ask any meditation questions. Any questions on meditation practice that you might have. And welcome to Jens, Ella, Lilia, and Michael. Good to see you all. Right, so there is a link on the live chat, and you can go to the Bayagiri chanting book on page 55 and chant with us.
So this is the Eternity Parata, which is a popular chant, particularly in Thailand, for calling on the power of the last 28 Buddhas, as well as on a variety of devas and bodhisattvas and guardian deities of various sorts, asking them to come and protect us. And so we'll dedicate this to all of the Black people in this country who are subject to centuries of oppression, and even these days in the midst of the protests are still being killed by police, which is just mind-blowing. So asking for protection for all of the dark-skinned people who are oppressed for no good reason in this country. And by extension to all those in the world who are experiencing oppression and difficulty on account of their race. So please chant with us as best you can. We'll start with Namo Tassa 3 times, and then we'll chant the Parata. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo me sabba buddhanang upannanang mahesinam tanhan karo mahaviro medham karo mahayaso saranang karo lokahito dipang karo jutindaro Kondanyo janapamoko mangalo puresa sabho Sumano dhiro revato rativadano Sobhito guna sampanno anomadasi januttamo Padumo loka pajjoto narado varasarati Padumuttaro sattasaro sumeto va patipungalo Sujato sabalokago piyadasi narasabho Atadasi karuniko dhammadasi tamonudo Siddhato asamo loke tiso chavaratam varo Puso chavarato buddho vipasi chanupamo Sikhi sabahito satave sabu sukadayako Kakusando satavaho konagamano rananjaho Kasapo siri sampanno gotamo sakya pungayo Ete chanye cha sambuddhane kasatako tayo Sabe buddha sama sabe buddha mahidika Sabe dasabalu peta vesaranje upagata Sabe te patijananti asabandhanamuttamam Sihanadang nadante te parasa sugasaradam Brahmachakam bhavatenti lokeya pativatiyam Upeta buddha dhammehi yatha rasahinayaka Dvating salakanupeta sityanubhyanjanadhara Vyama pabhaya supabhasa vete murikunjara Buddha sabanyuno ete sabekina savajina Mahapabha mahateja mahapanya mahabalam Mahakarunika dhira sabesanam sukavaha Dipanatha patita chatana lena chapaninam Gati bandhu mahasasa sarana chahite sino Sadevaka saloka sasabe devarayanam Te saham sirasa pare vandami purisuttame Vachasa manasa cheva vandame te tathagate Sayane asane thane gamane chapi sabada Sada sukhena rakhantu buddha santikaratuvam Tehi tuvam rakito santo muto sababhayena cha Sababroga vinimuto sabasanta bhavajito Sabaveramati kando nibuto chatuvam bhava Te sangsachena silena kante metta balena cha Te pidumhe anurakantu arogyena sukhena cha Puratimasmin gisa bhage santi bhuta mahittikam Te vidumhe anurakantu arogyena sukhena cha Dakinasmin disa bhage santi deva mahittikam Te vidumhe anurakantu arogyena sukhena cha Pachimasmin disa bhage santi naga mahittikam Te vidumhe anurakantu arogyena sukhena cha Uttarasmin disa bhage santi yaka mahittikam Te vidumhe anurakantu arogyena sukhena cha Puramade samgatarato dakinena virulhako Pachemena virupako kubero uttaram desam Chataro te maharaja lokapalaya sasino Te vidumhe anurakantu arogyena sukhena cha Akasatha cha bhummata devanaga mahittikam Te vidumhe anurakantu arogyena sukhena cha Nati me saranam manyam buddho me saranam varam Etena sacha vajjena hotu te jaya mangalam. Nati me saranam anyam dhammo me saranam varam. Etena sacha vajjena hotu te jaya mangalam. Nati me saranam anyam sangho me saranam varam. Etena sacha vajjena hotu te jaya mangalam. Yan kinchi ratanam loke vijjati vividham kotu. Ratanam buddha samam natti tasma soti bhavantu te. Yan kinchi ratanam loke vijjati vividham kotu. Ratanam dhamma samam natti tasma soti bhavantu te. Yan kinchi ratanam loke vijjati vividham putu. Ratanam sangha samam natti tasma soti bhavantu te. Sakatva buddha ratanam mosadam uttamam varam. Hitam deva manusanam buddha te jena sotina. Na santu padava sabe dukkha upasamentu te. Sakatva dhamma ratanam mosadam uttamam varam.
Parilahu pasamanam dhamma te jena sotina.
Na santu padava sabe upasamentu te. Sakatva sangharatanam mosadam uttamam varam. Ahuneyam bahuneyam sanghate jena sotina. Na santu padava sabe roga upasamentu te. Sabitiyo vivajjantu sabarogo vinasatu. Mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi dirghayuko bhava. Abhivadana sile sanicham buddha pachayino. Chataro dhamma vadanti. Ayuvanno sukham
Balam.
Now please get in meditation posture. So settling into position. Taking a few long, slow, deep breaths. With each breath, letting the body and mind relax. And settling attention in the body. Feeling the heaviness of the body, its solidity, its density. Feeling the hard, solid, heavy aspect of the body. The earth-like aspect of the body. As if the body was a pile of soil or a large stone. Feeling the earth-like aspect of the body, solidity, density, weight. Feeling the solid matter of the body as no different from the solid matter of the cushion beneath it, the floor, the walls, the whole building. Feeling the solid matter of the body as no different from the trees, the ground, the whole earth, and all the solid matter in the universe. It's all exactly the same solid matter. This body is no different. It's just made up of the same solid matter as everything else. And in fact, this body is constantly taking in solid matter from the outside world and shedding solid matter. It's just a continuum of the same earth elements, shifting and changing. And all of it is not me, not mine, just nature. But perceiving the solid matter of the body as inseparable and indistinguishable from the solid matter of the outside world. And all of it is not me, not mine, just an aspect of nature. Just like a tree grows up from the soil, collecting bits of minerals and particles from the soil to build its roots, trunk, branches, and leaves. But then those leaves and branches fall to the earth and disintegrate and return to the soil. And eventually the whole tree topples over and disintegrates and returns to the soil. The same way this body is built up out of solid matter from plants, food, slowly assembling this body as it grows, bits of it falling off, returning to the earth, until eventually the whole body dies and falls and disintegrates and returns to the earth. So feeling the earth element as not me, not mine, just an aspect of nature. And feeling the water element of the body, feeling the moisture saturating the whole body. As if the body was a dense cloud of fog, or a human-shaped bag of water. Feeling the moisture, the fluidity, the wetness of the body. Recognizing that the moisture in the body is exactly the same as the moisture in the rest of the world. It's the same as the water vapor in the air around us. It's the same as the clouds in the sky, the dampness of the earth, the water flowing through the rivers, collecting in the lakes and oceans. The water element in the body is exactly the same as the water element outside the body. And in fact, we're constantly taking in water, absorbing it from the air, bringing it in through the mouth. And we're constantly expelling water from the body, sweating, urinating, crying. So water flows in and out of the body, but it's always just an inseparable part of nature. Not me, not mine, just an aspect of the natural world. Just as in the springtime, water flows from the mountaintops and collects in clefts and valleys to form spring pools. flowing in one end and out the other. And then in the heat of summer, the pool dries up and evaporates. In the same way, water flows through this body, in one end and out the other. And at a later time, this body will die and fall, and all the water will evaporate, returning to the natural world from which it was never separate. So feeling the water element of this body, the water element of this world, is not me, not mine, just an aspect of nature. Feeling the fire element of the body, feeling the heat, the warmth radiating all through the body, as if the body was a glowing star, pile of embers, or a blazing fire, feeling the heat of the body. And recognizing that the heat of this body is no different from the heat of the outside world. It's the same heat energy that radiates from the core of the earth, that radiates from the sun and stars. Same heat energy that permeates the whole universe. So the heat of this body is not separate from the heat of the whole universe. It's just one vast field of heat energy. Not me, not mine, just an aspect of nature. But just as a fire might start in a pile of sticks or leaves, and burn for a while, and then eventually go out, leaving nothing but cold ashes. In the same way, this body is born, it's warm for a while, and eventually it dies and goes cold. just the nature of the heat element. So feeling the heat element of this body as inseparable from the heat element of the whole universe. Not me, not mine, just an aspect of nature. Feeling the air element of the body. Feeling the body gently inflating and deflating with each breath. Feeling the air circulating within the body, going up and going down, in and out. As if the body was a balloon, inflating and deflating. Or a narrow canyon with air blowing in one end and swirling around inside and blowing out the other end. Feeling the air element of the body. And recognizing that the air inside the body and the air outside the body are just exactly the same air. There's no difference, there's no distinction. It's all the same air. No inside, no outside, just air. And just as a balloon floats filled with air, but at a later time the balloon breaks and is no longer capable of holding air. In the same way, this body is nurtured and fueled by air, but at a later time it will die. Lungs will collapse, all the air will be expelled from the body. No longer capable of breathing and holding air. And the air in the body will just return to the rest of the world from which it was never separate. So, feeling the air element, not me, not mine, just an aspect of the natural world. Feeling the space occupied by the body-shaped region of space. The space itself holds whatever floats through it without obstructing it. And space itself is unaffected. So feeling the space occupied by the body, aware of the space occupied by the body. Recognizing that the space occupied by the body is inseparable from all the space in the entire universe. Just one vast field of empty space, physical objects floating through it, passing through it, unobstructed. And this body itself is hurtling through empty space at incalculable speed, indeterminate direction, occupying a different part of space every moment. And it's all just space. We don't own any part of it. There's no such thing as personal space. It's all just space, inseparable, indistinguishable, indivisible space. Not me, not mine, just an aspect of nature. So when we're born, the body takes up very little space. As it grows older, it takes up more space, till eventually it dies and decays, rotting away until it takes up no space anymore. And space itself remains unchanged, unaffected, undisturbed. Just an aspect of the natural world doing what it does. So feeling the space element, not me, not mine, just an aspect of nature. And all these 5 elements occur within consciousness, pass through consciousness, just like physical objects passing through space. All these mental objects pass through consciousness. Just as space is vast and we occupy only a small part, consciousness is vast and we occupy only a small part. Just as space can hold anything without being affected by it, consciousness holds anything without being affected by it. So feeling the consciousness element, feeling it as not me, not mine, just an aspect of the natural world. No different from space, no different from earth, water, fire, air. Consciousness is just an aspect of the natural world. Not me, not mine, just nature. So you can slowly, peacefully emerge from the meditation, opening your eyes, moving your body a little bit. And feeling the peacefulness of the mind. And when you're ready, if you have any questions or comments related to meditation, please feel free to enter them in the live chat and we'll discuss whatever you have to discuss.
Thank you, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. There's no questions for the time being, but perhaps something will appear soon, or maybe not, and that's good as well.
Okay, and maybe that's it for the morning.
Lila says, thank you. It was very nice. Link consciousness space helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, the consciousness element is, for most people, it's the hardest one to really get a feel for, which is kind of ironic because we live in the consciousness element all the time. So it's actually the one that we should be the most aware of. But drawing the analogy between space and consciousness does make it a bit easier for most people a bit easier to get a feel for what the consciousness element itself is like. Anything else?
Not as of now. So perhaps we can wrap it up for the morning.
Okay.
We will be meeting again this evening. The topic is Nibbana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very wonderful. Wonderful topic. And I believe it's Bhante Sudaso who will be giving a talk. And this week we'll be meeting every morning and evening up until Friday. Although Friday evening might not be happening because we might be.
We should still do it.
Well, we'll talk about it. Anyway, we'll see. But starting next week, so from Saturday onwards, actually, we will be meeting only on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and evenings, both morning and evening.
And Fridays. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, yes, yeah. That, as Bhante said. So 3 days a week starting next week, as opposed to every day. Since everything is reopening, we thought the best course of action would be less is more. And Jens actually has the question. Bhante, during this meditation, can focus on just one element for the entire meditation?
Yeah, that's fine. Usually what I would recommend actually is to, rather than do all 6 in one meditation, it's often more effective to do 6 periods of meditation. So doing 6 in one meditation is not great because then you're only getting maybe 5 minutes each. And it's hard to really get a deep feeling of any of the elements in just 5 minutes. You can get a shallow feeling, but not a deep feeling. So I actually recommend doing maybe 6 30-minute periods of meditation, and each one is devoted to just a single element. So you can do that over the course of a day. So over the course of the day, do 6 periods of meditation, 1 for each element. And then between the periods of meditation, try to keep the feeling of the previous element as you're doing whatever else you're doing. So whether you're walking or eating or using the restroom or whatever, try to keep that awareness of the elements as you're doing your other activities.
All right. Well, thank you, Bhante. So we'll be meeting in less than 12 hours for a lovely talk on Nibbana. All right. Well, have a great rest of the morning. Sadhu.
Sadhu. Sadhu.
Sadhu.